Perfect.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for all tuning in to another opportunity slash product overview with Dr. Nancy Bryan and myself. I am Kim Kubensky. I'm an executive consultant too in LifeVantage, and in about 2 weeks, it will be mine and my husband's 8-year anniversary with LifeVantage. And I can say that honestly, this journey has been beyond amazing. First and foremost, before we get started, I wanted to introduce the amazing Dr. Nancy Bryan. As you know, she is a PharmD with a master's in molecular biochemistry, a certified diabetic educator, a certified geriatric educator. She's certified in veterinary, zoo, and human compounding. She's a nutrigenomics educator, a pharmacogenomics educator. That was a big one. And she's also on our LifeVantage Science Advisory Board, as well as now a LifeVantage formulator. I'm not sure if I missed anything, but we all know that she is an incredible force, an incredible wealth of information, and I am beyond blessed to do this business alongside of her, one of my very dear friends. Thank you for hopping on tonight. And actually, Dr. Nancy and I have discussed doing these at least once a month moving forward so that everybody can continue to get educated and share this amazing product line and company with other people, because that's where it's all at. It's the community, the beautiful community of people, and the amazing products that literally nobody else has on the planet, right? So
Yes.
I did, if everybody could go ahead and please mute themselves. I'm actually gonna, Nancy, I'm gonna mute everybody.
Absolutely.
And then you know the path that we normally take when we normally start? Yeah.
Okay, it looks like everybody's muted now. Perfect. So with that being said, we are coming to you to talk to you about activation. And I know that obviously some of you have heard about it, but you know, I think that these days, the topic of conversations we're having with almost everybody that we meet is about how sick and tired they are of feeling so sick and tired. And unfortunately, what I've seen, and I know that most of you have seen, is that even it doesn't matter the age at this point, they're getting younger and younger and younger. And unfortunately, um, the most popular things are what people are turning to are pharmaceutical medications, other supplementation, pain pills, energy drinks, just to have a pick me up through the day or to try to feel better. And unfortunately, those things are bombarding us, not to mention the food system, the pollution, the dirty water that we're drinking, airplane fuel, EMFs, you name it. I just want to just kind of give you a little bit about my story is I got very sick back in 2009, and I went on to be sick for 7 years and not a doctor could figure it out. Honestly, it was probably it was the most difficult time of my life because I felt like nobody was listening to me. And in turn, a lot of the doctors, their solution was wanting to put me on anxiety and depression medications when I wasn't depressed. I wasn't anxious. Nobody was listening. I was sick. And through the years since 2009, I've completely overhauled my life, my health. I self advocated myself back to health. I was diagnosed with chronic Lyme. I've had a lot of like weird things happen. In 2009, I lost the eyesight in my left eye and was told that I have MS and went through all the testing to find out I didn't have MS, but nobody could figure out what happened to me. So it's led me on a path of just literally finding any information that I could to heal myself, to figure out how I can live the healthiest life that I can live. And for me, I wanted to take that natural route because as we're going to learn tonight, it's, nutrients is what our body needs. It's nutrition. And when we get to a place where our cells, our organs, our systems are all suffering, we're sick. And I don't think many people actually pay attention to when it really truly starts to happen, because there's little things like headaches or lack of sleep and all these little pains and aches that you're feeling, gut discomfort, that all of a sudden, you know genes are starting to flip on and things are starting to happen and you find yourself in a world of hurt. And I've actually learned to live with, more of a proactive way of life instead of a reactive path on my health journey for sure. And we, with LifeVantage, we have actually found the solution to two of society's major issues. One being, unfortunately, a lack of health, and how we can restore our health and live a healthier lifestyle. And number two, the financial piece of it, which I will touch on at the end. I mean, there are so many people suffering with both. And this company, LifeVantage, I never dreamed that it would change my life. And I'm assuming many of you on here tonight, the way it has. And I know I'm gonna hand it over to Nancy to kind of start talking to you about activation and what that actually means.
Oh, yes, Kim, and you are so right. You know what? Today there are so many people hurting. And you know what? Sometimes it's the financial that creates the stress that causes the health issues and vice versa. So those things are two huge issues for today. So I'm so excited today to be able to talk to you about part A of our solution. And that is, you know what? How can we help our health? How can we turn things around? And you know what? We talk today about activation. And I'm so excited because it's like the next step past supplementation. And you know what? We've figured out that if you can turn around our gene expression and help our genes go back to their original gene expression, that's going to create a vibrant health. It's going to help us at a cellular level. And most importantly, you know what? It's not just supplementing and pushing pathways, it's actually activating our own body to do things. And so one of the foundational product of our company, Protandim, this is where everything started. And like you know what? I had my own story. I was in a world of hurt. I was literally in a wheelchair, if you can believe it, due to several surgeries, to a very, very terrible health path. And I actually had been one of the healthiest people that most people knew. I had been doing exercise, I'd been eating well, I'd been doing all those things. But when my body started breaking down and those genes started expressing in the bad ways, guess what? That's when I started having some terrible issues. And I was so blessed when a surfer, if you can believe it, not a doctor, not a naturopath, not a nutritionist, a surfer shared this product with me by showing me a study. And that study was something that really caught my attention. And what we found was, you know what? What I saw in that study was it was a huge breakthrough. It was a huge breakthrough in anything that I'd seen with molecular biochemistry, pharmacology, pharmacy. I knew all the medications, I knew a lot of the nutrients, but this was something new. And I was super excited when I read it, and it gave me hope. So, what are we talking about? First and foremost, what happens, our body at a cellular level has these things called mitochondria, and they take in food and oxygen, and that's what gives our cell its energy, right? But it has a byproduct. It creates, like a car burning gasoline, it creates a little bit of damage, and it's called oxidative stress. But in today's environment, we have so many more things creating it than we used to. Everything from pesticides to cell phones to synthetics, the breathing, our air that we're breathing, water we're drinking, and even, clothing that we wear. All of these things are stressing out our system so much. And as those free radicals go up, our whole body becomes imbalanced. So, what do we find out that we can do with it? That NRF2 activation can do something other things can't do. It helps our body to produce glutathione catalase and SOD. If you look on this chart, you see there are common supplements, things that lots of things contain, and they will help reduce those free radicals on a one-to-one basis. But our own antioxidants on the inside, this SOD catalase and glutathione do it 1,000,000 to 1. And that's what we need to be able to get on top of it. And that's what we found this NRF2 pathway creates. It actually activates our body to turn these things back on. And as you can see here, guess what happens? When we do that, we can start balancing the cell again. When we start balancing the cell again, that's when we see all of our gene expressions go back to the way they were. And so here is what we do. This activation pathway is taking these 5 ingredients. And by having these 5 ingredients, look what we get. We get a natural detoxification. And by doing so, we're helping that cell to get back to its balance by reducing that cellular stress. And we do it unlike anything else. It's the first time anything's been proven to do it by 40% in 30 days. Isn't that amazing, Kim?
That is amazing. And if you see this, there's 5 herbs: the turmeric extract, the milk thistle, the green tea extract, the bacopa extract, and the ashwagandha root. So it's 5 herbs, just very, very, they're minute doses of each. And so it doesn't absorb where it's turmeric or milk thistle or green tea extract. It actually absorbs as a whole product. I want to pass it back over to Nancy, because I know that, you can see here that we have, I believe it's 31 peer-reviewed studies now published in PubMed, and 28 of them are published with 31 total studies. And that is absolutely astounding on an all-natural product. I know that you will have some insight on this, Nancy, as well.
Oh, it definitely was what caught my attention when the surfer showed me that LSU, Louisiana State University, had a study that actually was talking about the gene that I had a problem with. Yes, it caught my attention. And take a look at this. It's talking, you know what? We're not talking about just some random little article here or there. We're talking about major institutes and universities. And what's amazing is most of the time, LifeVantage didn't pay for these. This was so intriguing to so many different scientists that they took time to take and research this to see what it actually could do. And they weren't taking the individual ingredients, as Kim was just stating. They took Protandim, NRF2. When you take a look at these studies, it's listing this product by name. And it's patented specifically this way because of the time and the care that we've taken and how this is put together to ensure it's the same over and over. And so as you take a look at these studies,
I'm sorry,
it just blew my mind. And I hope somebody can mute because I can still hear them.
It was on my phone. I was trying to listen to it.
We'll
I couldn't listen to it because it was in there.
Dawn Townsend, can you please mute your phone?
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Kim, go ahead to that next slide.
Here we go.
So as you can see here, this was the study that really did it. Look at this. Protandim significantly extends the lifespan in male mice. So they did this study with a bunch of different things that were supposed to be anti-aging. And guess what they found? Protandim was the only nutritional, they called it a supplement, I call it activator, proven to increase the median survival in mice. So what it did was it showed that they lived on average something like 7 years longer in equation to the human population. And it's not just how long, it's healthy longevity. That's the key here. We're talking about bringing our cells back and turning back on the cell's ability to take care of itself again. That is just so significantly different than anything that's out there.
No,
and so as if that wasn't enough, oh my goodness, the foundational product was amazing. But now, Kim, let's talk a little bit about this liquid collagen. And when you finish up talking about it a little bit, I want to go back to some of the science.
Okay. So I know that when you hear about collagen, you think hair, skin, and nails, and it's more of a vanity product. I think a lot of people now are becoming more and more educated on why collagen is so important. I know you're going to touch on that tonight, but this is beyond the skin deep, the hair, the nail situation. This is eye health, it's liver function, it's sleep quality, it's mental health and mood, it's brain and cognitive support, it's tissue repair, it's joints, it's gut health, muscle recovery, prevention of hair loss. And there's so much more. I have been doing a lot of research on collagen as a whole, and my mind continues to be blown. I think it's very popular for people to run to Target or to Costco and buy the big jugs of powdered collagen. And unfortunately, not only do they not absorb very well, but you have to pay attention to the different heavy metals and the dirtiness of those products, what's inside of them. And a lot of people, it just, for me, I learned, back in 2009, 2010, that not everything that you go to the store that's sitting on the shelf is safe. In fact, most of it isn't. And so I love our collagen because not only is it clean and ethically sourced, it is unbelievably effective. It activates, it replenishes, and maintains our own collagen production which is basically unheard of. I'm going to pass it back over to Nancy because I know she loves talking about the genetic component of this. But you guys, this is huge. There is nothing out there on the planet that can even hold a candle to what we have with LifeVantage's True Science collagen.
Yes, and as you recall, when we were talking at first about that oxidative stress, remember that little graph that we showed, that little pyramid? One of the things on there at the very top, the SOD, and that SOD gene, believe it or not, is.
Okay, Nancy, you're muted.
Oh, sorry.
Connie? Okay.
I wish others would mute.
Yes.
Thank you. And at the top of that little pyramid, that's one of the components that really helps fight that oxidative stress, right? Well, take a look at this. It activates the SOD gene by 2,700%. We're talking about major activation here. And by doing so, we're seeing the gene expressions of this to boost our collagen production by 5 times minimum. So when we're losing our collagen abilities as we're getting older, we start seeing the crepiness of our skin and all those things. But it's also cognitive, how our brain works, how our eyes work, how many people end up having to wear a lot of glasses and all those kinds of things, because the collagen is like the stuffing in the pillow, right? And so what I love about this is we're activating, if you look at that collagen density, we went from 30 to 68 in 8 weeks. That's insane. I mean, it's just how important collagen is to making our cell whole again. So that was one of the first things that I was so excited about with this product. But then the next stage, of course, is being able to replenish it. You know what? We need to be able to put some in there. That's why everybody goes and gets those little containers of it everywhere they go. But guess what? It's deeper than that. We have 10 types. Most have 1 or 2. Well, there's all different types of collagen in our different various tissues between our muscles and our brain cells and our eyes. They're all different. And that's why it's important to have different types. And guess what happens when we have that? It's supporting not only the collagen density, but elasticity and moisture. Those are the things that help complete the wholeness of a cell. And then, of course, the most important thing to me of all things is being able to maintain it. And when we take a look at how we do that, that falls into taking a look at, and Kim, go ahead with the next slide, our maintaining of collagen. If we're losing it slower and we're replenishing it and we're activating it, we're going to help build it back up again. So when we take a look at what this means, maintaining it, we're actually seeing a huge decrease in a gene that is responsible for breaking it down. So when that's pumping and going full time, we're breaking down that collagen way too fast. What this does is it helps slow that down by up to 33%. And so what you're going to be able to see is that by taking in some of the antioxidants and especially the citrus berry extract, what this blend does is it really helps us to maintain what we already have, so that as we're adding it back in and as we're activating it to be made, we're really starting to see a difference. And Kim, let's talk about what that looks like.
Documentation beats conversation anytime. I want all of you guys to look. I'm going to breeze through these photos, but look at all the fine lines. Look at all the necks. You're going to see legs. You're going to see hair. You're going to see it all. And we are seeing results in as little as 7 weeks. Now, this launched almost 2 years ago. I know that most people that I know, and a lot of customers that I have are taking the collagen and seeing insanely amazing results. So you can see the fine lines. Men are on this product as well. It's not just women. I've seen a lot of necks and a lot of legs. I don't know about you, Nancy, but necks has been a very popular thing. I mean, this is just incredible looking at these photos. But when you're looking at it, and you're seeing it on the exterior, just think about what's happening on the inside. I know these legs right here on the right. These are actually Dr. Nancy Bryan's legs. They're famous.
Yes, as embarrassing as it is, yes, they are. But I'm happy to report that they're looking better than ever, and I'm so grateful.
It's amazing. This is another great example of a male having the collagen. Another set of 2 pairs of legs. Look at the stomach. It's just astounding to me. And the stretch marks fading. The hair, the part, if you can see that hair is starting to fill in. I know that this is where you get absolutely kind of just go bonkers over the science of it. It's exciting. I didn't think, anything could get better than a lot of the studies on NRF2, but when they paired it with the liquid collagen activator,
oh my gosh,
off the charts, amazing. I'm going to hand it back over to you because this is your forte.
Oh my gosh. I can tell you that when we were starting to see the results right away, and as we were seeing them, the company was so astounded by the things they were hearing. There were things that they were expecting, but then there were many things that they were basically shocked about. And so they decided to do some gene expression studies. And when they did, the thing that blew our minds the most on the science board, we're listening as they're giving us the reports back. And some of us were literally tearing up, because basically what happens is, our immune system, we have 2 immune systems. We have the immune system we're born with, and then we have an adaptive immune system. And that's where, back in the day, your mom would take you to a chicken pox party, so you get the chicken pox. And then once you've had them, your body knows it. Your immune system knows it, and you don't get it again, right? Or that's why people got shots for things. All in all, the immune system that's adaptive is that. It adapts to what's going on in our environment. The problem is, as Kim showed at the very beginning of this, it's being so assaulted all the time, every day. It never stops between cell phones, EMF, food sources, pesticides, bad water, stress, all these things are affecting it. And as a result of it, the poor immune system is just bashed to pieces. And that has been the culprit of why we have so many autoimmune diseases now. It's the immune system going on and on and on and never stopping. And as a result of it, we just never get a chance to give it a break. What this study showed was the fact that that combination, that NRF2 and the collagen, actually through fibroblast cells gives our immune system a little bit of a break. It gets to have a breath of fresh air. It gets to settle down for a minute. And as a result, we're seeing cellular stress return to optimal function. We need to have inflammation come on and off, but it just never shuts off with where we are today. And as a result, this study is showing us that there's hope. And I can tell you, I get so excited about this. And you know what? Be sure to get back with the person that shared some of this with you, because they can share this with you right off our website on page 3 of our information on this. It goes into detail about this. And I would love for all of you to take the time, go take a look. What does it mean? It's helping these fibroblast cells. That's the signaler to our immune system. What does that mean? We're reducing unnecessary signaling. We're not bashing the heck out of it all the time. It's getting a little break. It allows us to recover from stress and take a breather. And as a result, it's restoring the optimal function of the cell, which means the good gene expressions are coming back on, and why we're seeing all these different things. Another thing I'd like to say too is if we're thinking about taking a collagen for our skin, everybody wants our skin to look great because that's the outside, right? Those pictures are showing our outside. Think of your digestive tract. All that is skin on the inside. Now, if we're helping that operate, everyone knows that a huge part of our problem stems from the beginning in our gut. And so I love to talk about it in terms of how much this has made a huge impact on helping the physical properties of our digestive tract, just in the fact that it's like a skin on the inside. And I like to be sure to bring that out. Absolutely. So when we talk about, this Healthy Glow Stack, talk about the essential stack. I mean, I literally used to say all the time, there's no human on the planet that doesn't need Protandim. And I'm at the point now, after seeing that study, I'm fairly convinced there's no one that doesn't need liquid collagen and Protandim together to do something that we've just never seen done before. All right, so let's talk just a couple of minutes. We've talked about activation. We've gone deep into that, but let's just bring up a couple of other things. Kim, you want to talk about that real quick?
Sure. I know that, we touched on pretty heavily NRF2, Protandim NRF2, and that, again, our flagship product. We do have 2 other activators. The second one being NRF1, which is the energy pathway. So when you activate your NRF1 pathway, you're powering the cell to do its job in a better way. You're powering NRF2 to be more effective. And with that comes more energy. With that comes deeper sleep. I know when I started NRF2 and NRF1 together, NRF1 came about 3 weeks after I joined the company. And all of a sudden, I did feel a little bit tired at first, but I know that that's because was doing its repair job. So this repairs your mitochondria, restores your mitochondria, and it also supports the biogenesis of new mitochondria, which is absolutely astounding. Like, I would never live without this product because I know what it's done. Since I've started these products, one of the biggest things that I realized is that I never slept throughout my whole life. And not until LifeVantage came into my life. I was one of the worst sleepers that I've ever met, honestly. And I always wanted to sleep with a fan, and I didn't want to become used to that. But when I started NRF1, my sleep just became very deep, and I felt rested when I got up. So this is a very, very key product. And the last one is NAD. This is the cleanup crew, basically. This one is like turbocharge for the other two. My recommendation is to maybe start on the other two activators for a few months before you add in this one, and then it just accelerates the other two. So these work in tandem with each other. Very, very powerful science backing these three activators together. Nancy, do you want to add anything else on any of this or NAD?
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to the NRF1 and the energy. I always tell people, you go to the gym. One of the main reasons you go is because you're going to build up your mitochondria. That's mitochondrial biogenesis, making more mitochondria, the energy factory in our cells. And so I love that we have a simple means of being able to activate our body to turn back on those pathways again. And between those two things, they make such a great difference in balancing that scale that we looked at the beginning. It keeps our cells balanced, the yin and the yang in the cell. And I love what you said in terms of that NAD is the turbo. And sometimes we're not quite ready for the turbo. Sometimes we've had a lot of damage, a lot of things going on in our body. And so it's really nice to be able to start on the NRF1 and NRF2, get those going in our cell, and then go ahead and take that NAD, and that is the turbo to kind of help those two both operate at their finest. And boy, you know what? Like, we don't have enough already. We know how much people think about their skin. They care about their hair too, right? So one of the things a lot of people don't know is that as you're putting the shampoo and soap and all those things on your head, that skin on there absorbs a lot higher rate than your skin elsewhere. And that's because that's where we release heat, and it keeps our body temperature proper. So it's really important to have something that's really clean. And I love that this does such a great job in helping our hair follicles be healthy and activated. And look what we end up seeing from this. Now you can imagine coupling that along with the collagen, and man, we're seeing some really amazing stuff. And you know what? That goes for our skincare too. I have so many people come to me with skin issues. And you know what? The skin is just the outside expression of what's going on inside. And when you take a look at what our skincare products that we currently have that are all so clean, and all they're doing is helping our proper cell growth again. If you look on the right-hand side, you'll see a proper growth of those cells feeding each other all the way up to the dermis, which is the top layer. When you look at retinol and some of the other things that are out there currently, the chemicals, they cause mayhem. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of times they'll tell you, you can't go out in the sun, you can't do these other things, because they take away the barrier to take care of itself instead of building the barrier and taking care of our bodies the way it should through activation. And then we can't forget our animals. Oh my gosh. I'm currently here in Louisville, and one of the reasons I'm here is because of animals. I love to come here during Derby time. I can't tell you how many horses we make a huge impact in. And our dogs, oh my gosh, look at the dog on the left. Those two are siblings. One of them was not on our pet tandem, and the other one was. And you know what? It makes such an impact. It doesn't matter if it's a human or an animal. This is about the NRF2 activation in our bodies is the key to health. And then I would be remiss if I didn't talk about why I really got into becoming part of the company, not just taking the products. Axio was what really did it for me. When I saw what it did as brain food, this gets that NRF2 into our brains. And you'll see that BSCG, that is a high certification that's very hard to come by. And what that means is that we're free of artificial colors and all those different things that people will stay away from. We are not a Red Bull or anything like that. All we're doing is improving the brain's ability to concentrate and memory and retention by doing what it's supposed to again, activating it to do what it's supposed to. And oh my gosh, I don't know about you, Kim, but I can't go a day without this. And what I've seen it do for so many kids is astounding. Take a look at this brain mapping done by one of our dear friends, Dr. Fannin. He did this in kids, showing how inflamed their little brains were. And by taking the Axio, how it calmed that down by rebalancing the cell. And that is a huge component. And I love that, you know what, everything from, you know what, my grandkids to my friends, I just absolutely love the ability of this Axio to be able to help us to focus. My son, I had him try it at the very beginning. I wanted to see which flavors he liked. And the first thing he said to me, he goes, Mom, I don't know what that stuff was, but it quiets the monkeys. I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I can finally really focus on one thing at a time instead of hearing all the monkeys in the room telling me all the different things. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's such a perfect explanation. And so that's what we see in this here when we look at the brain mapping. It's quieting down all of the signaling that's going on. It's letting it calm down. And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk. We've got to talk about gut health. We've got to have the fertilizer for our probiotics is in our prebiotic. It's simple. You drink it. I love it. And we've got to have a good probiotic. And so many probiotics out there only get about 2 to 3% through the stomach acids. Because of the way this is put together with a delayed release technology, guess what? You get 60% survival rate. I would challenge you to find that in any other probiotic. Most of them are around 3 to 5%. And when you start taking care of the gut, a whole lot of other smart things start happening. So as you can see here, we have a ton of things. Kim talked earlier about formulations. I helped with our D3 product and with our AM/PM. We can talk to you about another time for those. And one last thing I wanted to talk about, when you talked about NRF1 and sleeping, one of the main reasons most people don't sleep well at night is because your body's actually going to repair then. And when it doesn't have the things that it needs to repair, guess what? It starts poking you and telling you, get up, go get those things I need. And guess what? When you started on that NRF1 and that NRF2, your body was getting the things that it was needing, and it allowed your body to rest so that it could repair at night. That's also where our D3 omegas come in. They help support with micronutrients and things that our body needs to be able to be doing those repairs at night so that we can optimize how we function in the day.
And this is our beautiful line
so
of
Kim,
products.
You want to talk? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? You can get back with the person who invited you to this and they can go into more detail if you need it. Our website is beautiful at doing that. But Kim, we talked about another problem that people have, and I'd love for you to share with us a little bit. Yes, we have these beautiful products, especially the NRF2 and collagen to start with, but where can we go with this?
So I know I discussed in the very beginning that we found a solution with LifeVantage to two of the biggest issues that society faces today. And I do think a lot of people are searching for more. We covered the LifeVantage product story, the breakthrough science that we have, the category creating products that we have that are not Me Too products. We don't have products that other companies have, and that the fact that they are consumable. Everybody needs these products. It doesn't matter who you are. We have all ages on these products having insanely amazing results. I do want to move into talking a little bit about the company because I learned early on the difference between public and private as far as a company goes. And back in 2016, actually 2015, I had been a part of a privately held company that ended up closing its doors. And it was very devastating. I was very new to this industry, and unfortunately, things got out of hand on the manufacturing end of that company, and they ended up having to close their doors and rebrand. And through that rebranding process, I decided to leave because I won't put my name behind anything that that I'm not taking or that I don't believe in. And when LifeVantage was presented to me, my husband immediately, because he worked for a publicly traded billion-dollar company as a general manager, he knew how profound it was to be a part of a publicly traded company because of the transparency, Everything is out in the open for us. All the numbers, all the data. And he told me, he said, you know, honestly, Kim, he's like, we need to really take a look at joining this company because, you know, affiliating yourself with a company like this is a very solid decision. Our revenue is most definitely poured into the research, the product development, the hiring of, as you know, our corporate staff. I was just at our recent growth summit as a trainer last weekend in Utah. Our corporate staff is second to none. I have not been a part of such a solid group of individuals that truly are there for us, that want to help us. And from commissions and forecasting, remaining relevant, which means, you know, we just had a up level, if you will, of our skin system because they found additional research, more powerful pathways to add on top of what was already there. They didn't take away any of the power, but they added to it. And I do see this happening down the line with potentially some other products as well. And lastly, the LifeVantage story, you know, the growth potential, you know, the startup phase. We're not in the startup phase anymore, but the startup phase of a company is $0 to $200 million annually. Right now, we're in the organized growth. And the key to finding the, you know, a company is going from startup to organized is because the pathway is now clear. Data is being used to make big decisions. And, you know, we have a commitment to the messaging. We have a clear path. And obviously our goal is to become $1 billion company and hit that milestone, which then leads to stabilization, which then leads to financial security. And, you know, obviously I've been a part of this for 8 years. I know exactly, you know, what it feels like to grow a business in LifeVantage. And, you know, it has been nothing short of life-changing for, you know, Brody and I. It is one of the perfect vehicles out there. We are leading the way in activation. We only have 60,000 US consultants right now, maybe 100,000 worldwide, with a massive amount of growth potential. We're headquartered in Utah, which is also where our products are created. We are debt-free. We have an enhanced compensation plan for the next generation of entrepreneurs. We are paid to, if a person, you know, is a social seller, there's a lot of people, influencers out there that are amazing at sharing products with people. The social selling aspect, it has been huge. Leveraged income. I mean, if you can find a way to make money while you sleep, at your normal job, you know, that would be amazing, but there really isn't that opportunity. When we took a look at this and took a look at the compensation plan, you know, I was completely blown away. And I didn't know that by joining LifeVantage, almost every aspect of our life was going to change in a very powerful way. You bring on a turnkey business, which means it comes with a website. It comes with a training system in the back office, and so much more. There's no inventory. You don't have to hold inventory at your house. You don't have to exchange products with people. It's all website driven and drop shipped right to their doorstep. There's no assets that you need. But one of the most amazing parts of this company is the culture and community. And this last weekend, again, I want to reflect on being around 100 of the up and coming leaders in our company. And I had the blessing to be able to train them. And the care and concern and the detail that this company went to make everybody at that leadership summit feel special was, I was completely blown away. And I've been a part of those summits before in the past. And it was honestly one of the best trips I've ever had in my entire life. You know, this is not a complicated business. If honestly, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer to be a consultant. However, not everybody wants to do that. But if you do, you can build a network of consultants. You can build that team of your dreams. You can choose the people you want to work with, and help people find a side income to offset the costs of inflation. I know all of us struggle with that. We'd be silly not to think about, what if we could find something to bring in extra money that can contribute to the grocery bill? Or if you have a child in hockey or gymnastics that, I know some of my friends that are spending $1,000 every weekend so that they have to travel to where their kids are at their sporting events with hotel costs. I mean, honestly, it's an absolute no-brainer. And for me, I knew right away out of the gate that I was not going to be a customer. But that's okay. If you join and you want to be a consultant, you can also build a network of just customers, and you don't have to worry about building a team. Our new compensation plan is absolutely incredible, with rewarding people for just sharing our product information and signing up customers. And honestly, there's 3 ways to do this. You can become a customer first and foremost. You can join our movement and become a consultant and spread the amazing word of LifeVantage with us. Or you might be indecisive on both, and that's okay, because a lot of this information is probably very new to you and you don't know where you stand yet. I just really will stress that you connect with the person that invited you to this Zoom tonight, to connect, to see what maybe your next steps are, and that you might need more information. For me, it was a very, very clear decision that we were going to align ourselves with the company. And these products are literally saving my life. And it's one of the best decisions we've made for our entire family. The blessing that it is for my husband to be on these products. I didn't share this earlier, but everyone on his dad's side has passed away from a heart attack, including his father at age 55. And when my husband and I got together 17 years ago, he would joke to me and say, you have me until I'm, 50, maybe 55 if I'm lucky, because everybody that is male on my dad's side has passed away from a heart attack. And he used to joke about that. And then we had Keegan, and it wasn't funny anymore. And I could tell that it started to bother him. And like, one of the biggest things, my husband, he is so all in with LifeVantage. It is absolutely, like, it's been one of the best things for me. But he wanted to get on the products immediately for prevention because he saw the heart research. And I don't worry like I used to. He just turned 47 on April 3rd. So he's creeping up there, even though he'll be proud to say that I am older than him still by a year and a half only. But and the products, what they did for my son's, Keegan's gut, has been life-changing for all of us. So anyways, I want to thank everybody for hopping on tonight, and absolutely thank Nancy for taking the time out to educate us and to do this with me. She is a force to be reckoned with. I am going to stop the recording, and we can open this up for questions and answers briefly, and go from there. Thank you again for hopping on.
So